like this. And that.
You mean this way?
No, not that way. This is an entirely new way of rolling the sausage. Look, you take it over, under,
See.
and then roll in a very small roll.
You try that, madam. The frock will fit beautifully. The bumps won't show at all. All right, I'll try it. Give it to me again. Who told you about this, Kate?
A friend of mine, madam. A fitter at work.
I know you have a girlfriend at work.
He isn't a girlfriend, madam.
Come on, Kate, hurry. I want to get into this before Mr. Carter comes.
There you are, madam. Oh, it is lovely, madam. Is it to be a surprise for the master?
It'll be a surprise to me if it is.
Oh, that'll be Mr. Carter, madam.
It is Mr. Carter. Hello, darling.
Hello.
Well?
Well, what?
Notice anything?
Oh, Lord, we've got people coming.
Yes, that's right. We've got people coming. Hurry up and change.
I hope it isn't anyone I know.
If that's the way you feel about it, you better have a drink. It'll ease the shock.
Ah, a big one. Must be someone I don't like.
It's Leonard Drummond.
What? Where the deuce did you get hold of that scoundrel?
That scoundrel?
Yes, I didn't even know you knew him.
Unless it was Sylvia Taylor's.
When?
Last Wednesday, as a matter of fact.
Funny you didn't mention it.
Did I, darling? I must have. I meant to.
Oh, darling, you are a liar. You know perfectly well you never did.
Well, I was afraid you might be jealous.
Jealous of a man like Leonard Drummond? That's funny.
Why is it funny?
Because, darling, I think too highly of your good taste to imagine you to find a man like Drummond attractive.
You mean in comparison with you?
Well, you can put it that way if you like.
You're very sure of yourself, aren't you?
Not of myself, darling, of you. Why did you ask him?
I asked him because I thought he was interesting. We talked. Very seriously, as a matter of fact.
Really? What about?
Oh, his work, of course. One always talks to an artist about his work. It keeps him interested and makes him think you're charming.
An artist. All he does is write unwholesome, cheap tripe.
Maybe. But he understands women.
Oh, does he? Well, then, thank heaven I don't. Any illusions I have left, I want to keep. What about a cocktail?
Not until you've changed. You'll be here any minute now.
They?
The Chiswick and Leonard Drummond.
But, now, look here, Marion. Don't I see enough of Morgan at the office all day?
I happen to know that Morgan hasn't been to the office today, so you can put up with him for this evening.
I really think you might have found someone I could talk to.
I did ask Sylvia Taylor. She phoned to say she can't come.
Yes, I expect something turned up that appealed to her more, and I don't blame her.
Poor darling. Did you have a bad day at the office?
No, I had a very good day. I can have a very bad night. Do I compete with Drummond for Diana and bring on her husband's dyspepsia? Or might it be the perfect host and see that everybody has a good time except me?
Stupid. The party's so small, the conversation will be general.
I see. We'll all listen to Mr. Drummond.
For goodness sake, shave under your chin tonight. Oh, be careful. Mind you dress.
Is it?
Come in, Kate. Mr. and Mrs. Chiswick, madam. You see?
Once and for all, Diana will not be put upon.
Darling, nobody's trying to put upon you. It's your liver. That's what's the matter with you, your liver. If you'd go to the office every day like you used to do, you wouldn't get these ridiculous fancies.
Leonard Drummond isn't a fancy, at least not a fancy of mine.
Oh, don't be so absurd.
Absurd or not, you better keep out of my way.
Darling. Mary. Hello, Morgan.
Hello.
Well. Well, what's the matter with you two this time? What is it now? Oh, jealous. Leonard Drummond. Oh, that. Come on now, Morgan, have a cocktail. Jeffrey's changing. You might take him one, too, and tell him to hurry up, will you?
Righto. I have a new story to tell him. A hot one.
Well, he isn't as bad as all that. Oh, Marion, it wasn't so hard on me when he used to go to the city every day. I only had him in the evening. Then I could have other people around to share the burden. But now, he's on my heels morning, noon, and night, and if something doesn't happen, I'll just have to leave him, that's all. For a man like Leonard Drummond, didn't you find him fascinating? I admit he's a perfect lover. He'd be a very, very unsatisfactory husband. I've got one of those, and I'm fed up with him. By the way, I better warn you, Morgan saw you coming out of Drummond's studio this afternoon.
Morgan did?
Yes.
Where was he? I didn't see him.
He says he was passing in a taxi, but it's my opinion he was fine. Oh, Marion, you were a darling to girl. Tell me, what did Leonard say when you gave him my note?
He said he'd deliver the answer in person.
Oh, but didn't you tell him that Morgan's terribly suspicious?
Mm-hmm. But Mr. Drummond and I had the most beautiful idea.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. It was this. To have you and Morgan here to dinner tonight, and Leonard Drummond, too.
What? You've got Leonard coming here tonight?
I have.
Oh, dear. And I've got this old rag on.
And so, when the oldest inhabitant was brought before the doctor said to him, "How can an old man like you be a father in 6 different parishes?" "Ah," said the old man.
I have a bicycle.
Oh, you knew him. I thought it was new. Probably you've heard it before.
When that story was new, bicycles weren't invented.
Oh, what did he ride on?
A horse.
What for?
Yes, that was the beginning of point-to-point racing.
Do you mind if I tell it at dinner tonight? All married people, you know.
Not all.
Now, this is what we're going to do for you, Ducky. Mr. Drummond is going to flirt desperately with me.
With you?
Of course, to throw dust in Morgan's eyes.
Oh, I see.
Don't you think it's a splendid idea?
Yes, providing you don't use a shovel. I dare say I don't think Jeffrey will find it very amusing.
That's the splendid part of it. He's much too sure of me. Begun to take me for granted. Morgan may be a little upset at the beginning of the evening, but Jeff is going to be gnashing his teeth before it's over.
Really, Marion, if this is your idea of a splendid party,
Now, don't you worry. It's going to be marvelous.
Diane, put on your things at once. We're going home.
Morgan!
Oh, I can see through this little plot all right. I've forbidden Diana to ask Drummond to my house, but she's got you to ask the scoundrel here.
I knew this would happen.
I asked Leonard here because I like him. It's simply ridiculous of calling him a scoundrel. It's pure jealousy.
Jealousy. Good heavens, you don't think I'm jealous of a blighter like that, do you?
Is that the only word you can think of, dear?
Mr. Drummond is a very charming man.
Mr. Drummond. It was Leonard a moment ago.
Considerate, kind, and extremely intelligent.
In fact, almost human, even for a well-known novelist.
It's not his fault if women make fools of themselves over him.
Funny thing, women have never made fools of themselves over me.
Haven't they, darling? And I can't think why.
We haven't got classic profiles.
Well, I refuse to meet him. And if he dares stand before me face to face, I'll have him thrashed within an inch of his life.
Mr. Drummond, madam.
Good evening.
My dear Mrs. Carter.
Oh, what lovely flowers. How charming.
The flowers. What a most attractive dress.
How nice of you to notice. It's new.
How do you, Mrs. Chetty?
Good evening, Mr. Drummond.
This is Mr. Chiswick and my husband.
How do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do? Forgive me if I'm late. I don't know London very well. Lived so long in Paris.
Paris, eh? You like it better there, I suppose.
Well, I know it better.
And the French, I suppose you know them better, too.
Well, I've lived amongst them so long. I confess the English sometimes puzzle me. Yes. You know what I mean, don't you?
Yes, of course. Paris must have associations for you.
Exactly.
Would you tell us about your life in Paris, Mr. Drummond?
Diana.
Certainly, Mrs. Cheswick, but not now. I should hope not. Later, maybe. You're an author, I believe, Drummond. Thank you. What for? Debatable point. I was grateful for your assurance.
I suppose as an author, you understand women?
No, thank heavens I don't. Who does? I only know they're mysterious but divine. You've had a lot of experience with them, haven't you? At least so one hears. I've been extremely fortunate. Disgusting. Women have been kind to me. You see, I knocked about the world since I was 12.
So young.
I was an orphan, and women were sorry at me because I was alone. They used to pinch my cheek, kiss me, and smooth my hair, and I'm afraid I got to like it. One acquires habits so easily, doesn't one?
At 12, most boys would be playing games.
That came a little later.
Oh.
Shall we go into dinner?
When I was young, I used to keep spiders, but I had to give it up. the lady spiders would eat up their husbands.
Anything that happens to husbands is most of their own fault.
Bad luck on the spiders.
Bad luck on the husbands, too. For example, if a man neglects his wife, it's only human nature that she begins to sit up and look around.
Here, here.
So according to you, any man's liable to have his wife stolen unless he takes some precaution to prevent it.
The Crusaders had a word for it.
Why, Morgan, I had no idea you knew about those things.
I never suggest anything so drastic. Merely that a man shouldn't stop wooing a woman because he's married to her.
So your theory is that husbands should flirt with their wives.
They want to hold them.
Flirting with one's own wife. Downright indecent.
Is it? Well, a little indecency from you now and then would be very acceptable.
Now, a compliment delicately put. Unexpected present of her favorite perfume. A book you think she might find interesting. A check that she hadn't asked for. These things are what I call wife insurance.
Wife insurance?
Yes, if a man spent the same amount of money on little attentions to his wife as he does in his life policy, he'd collect the prize before he dies.
But it's for his wife's sake he insures.
Because he's an unthinking fool. If he asked her, he'd find that she'd rather spend the money with him while he lives and let the future go hang.
Why, that's wicked. It's almost blasphemous.
Why? There's an even chance that the wife may die first. Then the second wife can enjoy the insurance. And even if she doesn't, she can marry again or earn her own living. Well, let's leave the boys to their port, Marion. They won't miss us anyway.
If anyone so attractive could say anything so cruel.
Ah, nuts.
Morgan, really? And in front of Mr. Drummond, too.
I heard you were a dangerous character. I begin to understand it now. You jeopardize the sanctity of the home by downright wicked propaganda.
No wonder women like you.
Husbands flirt with their wives, indeed.
My dear fellow, women grow up from babyhood with the idea of pleasing and intriguing men. It's born and bred in them. The siren strain, it's their nature to exercise in nonsense. No, it isn't nonsense. That's why wives are always asking, do you still love me, darling? As much as you did before we were married. Haven't your wives ever asked you that? Good Lord.
How did you know?
A siren strain, my friend. If husbands don't encourage their wives to use it, they begin to get restless, and they begin to get restless.
Don't let them keep you too long, will you, Leonard?
No, I'm coming now, Mrs. Carter.
Men like that ought to be strangled at birth. Well, Jeffrey, how do you propose to deal with the situation?
What situation?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? If the chap comes along and brazenly attempts to steal your wife, you can't ignore the thing completely.
Oh, don't be an ass.
Do you really mean to say you don't think that your wife is taken with this fella?
Of course she isn't. I ought to know my own wife by now. Marion may indulge in a little harmless flirtation under my nose, but she'd never dream of looking at another man. She's far too fond of me.
I suppose she went to his studio to tell him so.
Marion's never been to his studio in her life. She's only met him once. Sylvia Taylor's.
I'm sorry, I thought you knew.
What do you mean? Come on, out with it.
Well, I saw Marion coming out of Drummond's studio this afternoon.
Possible.
Well, I saw her myself in his hallway.
What were you doing in his hallway?
As a matter of fact, I was spying.
On my wife?
Of course not, on mine. That's how I found out it was your wife he'd taken a fancy to. We must do something about it, obviously.
If I do something, it won't be obviously. You look after your wife, I'll look after mine.
As your business partner, I resent that remark. I know what I'm going to do.
Oh, you should tell me. You're going to thrash him within an inch of his life.
As a matter of fact, now that I've met him, I've changed my mind. If we want to keep our wives, we must fight him with his own weapons.
Well, you better start by being an orphan at 12.
Oh, Marion sent me to get some brandy.
Mary, my wife never drinks brandy.
It's not for her, it's for me. I hope I was interrupting.
Oh, no. We were just talking about the usual thing that men talk about after dinner.
Gentlemen, I blush for you.
I have a friend that I'd like for you to meet. He's a chap called Harbottle.
I'd be delighted.
He's having a spot of domestic trouble, and he'd like to get your advice. Wouldn't he, Jeffrey?
Don't drag me into it.
His wife is getting far too interested in another man, a frightful outsider.
Harbottle?
No, the other fellow.
Oh.
Howling cat, isn't he, Jeffrey?
Yes.
And Harbottle would be very grateful if you gave him a tip or two as to how to deal with the situation. By that, I mean how to deal with this low-down, blackguardless scoundrel.
Other than thrashing him within an inch of his life.
No, that'd be the worst thing your friend could do.
Indeed.
In the first place, he might not be the one to get the thrashing.
As a matter of fact, that's just what I thought.
And secondly, the scoundrel, having become forbidden fruit, will be even more attractive than ever. No, the clever thing to do will be to make it ridiculously easy for your wife to be unfaithful.
What?
Tell Harbottle that. To begin with, Mr. Harbottle mustn't let his wife think he suspects anything.
Do you mind if I take a few notes?
No, please do.
Thank you. Not suspect anything.
Then he should be called out of town one night, say, a business appointment in Paris.
Actually go away and leave her free.
No, not actually. As I think he's going away and then return unexpectedly.
Return unexpectedly. When?
Not too early, about midnight. And find out if the worst has happened.
Yes. The worst has... Oh, dear, oh, dear.
You seem to have gone into this jealous husband problem pretty deeply.
I've made a study of it.
I'm sure you have.
As an offer.
Naturally.
Business appointment in Paris. Return unexpectedly. The worst has happened. I'll tell Harbaugh.
Darling, you're doing it too marvelously.
Doing what?
Pretending to vamp Leonard.
Oh, that I'd almost forgotten.
I know, dear, but I haven't.
I've got a book of crossword puzzles for Morgan
Oh, thank you.
and a jigsaw puzzle for Geoffrey.
I thought we were going out.
Yes, but we decided with Leonard we'd rather stay here.
Come along now, boys.
Come on and make yourselves comfortable. I prepared this table for you. Now, we can enjoy a nice undisturbed chat all by ourselves. I've been wanting to talk to you about your books all evening.
You like them?
I adore them. I've often thought they seem to have a message just for me. Is that silly of me?
No, it's rather wonderful. You must come to my studio one day and I'll show you my etching.
I wouldn't dare. I hear you make love to women on the slightest provocation.
That's quite untrue. As a matter of fact, I seldom need any provocation at all.
What's another name for snake of the grass? It's a four-letter word.
Some men are independent women. I need them. Their encouragement, their admiration.
And then, of course, with your charm.
No, it's not that. It's just that I'm a man, experienced, unattached, and very, very susceptible.
Hello. Hello, darling.
Who is it?
It's Sylvia Taylor.
Sylvia?
But I thought you were going out tonight. No, I'm afraid we can't. We've got a party. But Marion did ask you, didn't she? Ah. Well, it's a bit late to ask you over now. Everybody will be going soon. Yes, they're all going soon. Bye. Rather awkward, wasn't it, dear?
Why was it awkward? Of course she's given me away. I said I'd asked for design, and I hadn't. Why did you say you had? It was my alibi for dining quiet. I just didn't feel like asking another woman. You understand, don't you, Diana?
Yes, I understand.
Yes, but will Sylvia Taylor understand? Why lie about it?
Oh, dear, now he's cross.
Why tell such a stupid lie? And above all, why pick Sylvia Taylor?
Who's Sylvia Taylor?
Then don't be absurd. It was at her house that I met you.
Oh, yes, of course it was. Silly of me.
I've found the word. It's liar.
Be quiet, Morgan. Play with your puzzle.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll all dine together again next Friday. And this time I will ask Sylvia Taylor. Then Geoffrey can have everything explained to him to his satisfaction.
By next Friday, Sylvia Taylor will be able to explain anything to anybody's satisfaction.
Are you insinuating that Marianne's going to arrange with Sylvia exactly what to say?
Yes.
Only someone with a mean, stupid, insipid little mind like yours could think of such a thing.
Well, you thought of it.
I'm awfully sorry, but I won't be here on Friday. I'm going out of town for the night.
Where to?
Paris. On business.
But, Geoffrey, this is rather sudden, isn't it? Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I didn't know myself until today.
Well, we mustn't let it spoil our party. You'll all come, won't you?
I shan't be able to come. I'm going to Paris, too.
Are you?
What for?
Same reason as you. Same business.
Never mind. You and Leonard will come, won't you?
You said next Friday, didn't you?
Yes, Friday. It's the 13th.
Hello, Jeffrey. Good morning, Mr. Harbottle. You look very happy.
I've got news. Good news. Splendid news. Diana is ill in bed. One of her headaches. Poor girl.
Well, what's the good news?
Well, that's it. Don't you understand? She won't be able to spend the evening with Marion and Drummond. I knew there was nothing in it. This proves it.
I see. Diana's got a headache and can't meet Drummond, so you've stopped being jealous.
Certainly. Diana's a very determined woman. And if she wants something, I've never known a headache to stop her. She's just grown tired of the bounder, that's all. I know, because I'm a very hard man to deceive.
You're a very hard man to deceive. Yesterday's paper.
I'm sorry for you, old man. Marion and Drummond all alone tonight while Hubby's away in Paris.
Oh, we're not going to Paris.
Oh, no, of course not. No, I'm at New Haven.
We're not going to New Haven. We'll go to the club and drift home about 12.
Oh. I'm afraid I forgot to mention, Jeffrey, that poor little Diana begged so hard that I made her a sort of promise.
Oh, did you?
Yes, you see, she looks so like a child in bed.
Never mind about that. What was the promise?
Well, she insisted that we call her up when we got to New Haven, and I said we would.
So, we've got to go all the way to New Haven to speak on a telephone just because you haven't got the guts to say no.
No, Jeffrey, it was not my guts that made me consent. It was because she pleaded so, and tears in her eyes, and her poor little head was aching, and because
I know, because she looked so like a child in bed.
Selfridge's on the phone there. All right, I'll take it in here.
Shall I take the train then?
No, leave it. I might take a bite later.
Very good.
Hello, Selfridge's. Hello, darling. It's all right. He is going to Paris tonight.
Yes, but do you really think you ought to leave him? Supposing he returns unexpectedly.
He won't. I've taken care of that. Leonard, you're not trying to back out.
Of course not, darling. I only thought, supposing Morgan returns. Yes, but you can return even from New Haven. Oh, all right, then. I'll collect you after he's phoned. No, I'm afraid I can't come sooner, darling. You see, I've got to go and see Marion.
Oh, couldn't you get out of there? Well, all right, then. Come for me as soon as you finish dinner. No, I'm not cross. Darling, I love you. Yes, a bottle of vinegar, a tin of salmon, and a pound of butter.
Yes? The car's back, madam.
With Mrs. Carter?
Yes, madam. She said she'd wait in the car.
Good. Oh, dear, my head.
Oh, Walker,
Yes, madam.
I want to go to the forest first, and then to Fortnum, and then to Elizabeth Arden.
Very good, madam.
Hello, Marion.
Hello.
Oh, I'll go to Elizabeth Arden, too.
Oh. I thought you were an invalid.
Oh, I am, but I like to look my best in bed.
A waste of money. A doctor's nearly 70.
Well, I might call in a specialist. Where were you, Walker? I had to phone the garage for you 3 times.
I'm sorry, madam. Mr. Cheswick said you wouldn't want me today.
He did?
He said he wouldn't want me until I picked him and Mr. Carter up tonight.
Do what?
Yes, madam. I'm driving them both back to New Haven. Mr. Carter was very particular about it. He said he must be home by midnight.
I'll pay Jeffrey out for this. Let him come home and see how he likes it.
Oh, but I don't want Morgan to come home at midnight. Why not? Oh, well, I'm just not feeling very well, and I think I'll go to bed as soon as I get home.
What I'll do to Jeffrey. If he's jealous of Leonard now, let him come home at midnight.
Do you think you can keep Leonard until midnight, darling?
I'll keep him all right.
If you had a bit more guts, we shouldn't be going on this wild goose chase. Have a look at the map.
Let's see, it's about 60 miles from London to New Haven, huh? It can't possibly take us more than 2.5 hours.
Well, we must leave New Haven about 9:30 if we're going to arrive on the dot.
But Drummond didn't say anything about on the dot. He said, unexpected, not too early.
About midnight.
That's all right. I told Walker to be with the car at New Haven at 9.
I suppose he can keep his mouth shut.
My dear fellow, he's an oyster.
Oh, Whittaker,
Yes, sir.
I want you to make 2 reservations on the New Haven Paris boat train tonight.
As you say, sir.
Only as far as New Haven. You understand?
As you say, sir.
Good. Oh, and cancel a table for 2 tonight at the London Casino in my name, will you?
As you say, sir.
Oh, dear, what a shame.
Oh, don't worry. She looks so like a child in
Jeffrey, not before Mr. Whittaker.
Well, I think that about covers everything.
Do you mind if I make a schedule? I feel safer.
Do what you like.
Take down the schedule. What time does the New Haven boat train leave?
8:05, sir.
Leave Victoria 8:05 for business appointment. Arrive New Haven?
9:20, sir.
Leave 9:30. Return unexpectedly. Not too early, about midnight. Got that?
Yes, as you say, sir.
Discover if the worst has happened.
Worst has happened.
That's all. Oh, make 3 coffees, will you? 1 for Mr. Carter, 1 for myself, and 1 for the personal fire.
As you say, sir. Oh, if the worst does happen, would you wish me to send flowers?
Flowers? Good heavens, no. No flowers.
As you say, sir.
Walker. Madam. Mrs. Carter and myself want to have a little joke with Mr. Cheswick and Mr. Carter, and we'd like you to help us.
Yes, madam.
Could you do something to the car on the way home tonight so that Mr. Carter and Mr. Cheswick won't be home until tomorrow morning?
Well, I could, madam. But as you know, Mr. Carter knows a lot about cars.
Oh, yes, but I mean, do something to it so that it will really break down. Of course, I'll explain it all to Mr. Cheswick later, but it's going to be such a joke.
If you're sure it's all right, madam.
Of course, it's all right. And by the way, Walker, I was going to give you £5 for Christmas, but I'll give it to you now instead.
Thank you, madam.
What lovely flowers, Marion. I'm so glad we found out that Morgan and Jeffrey are coming home tonight at 12. It might have been very awkward for you, mightn't it, darling?
Come in, just for a drink.
No, thanks.
Now, come on.
I have to go home and say goodbye to Diana. The poor little thing has been in bed all day, all alone.
Let's hope so.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. I say, are you really keen on going away this evening?
Well, if that isn't the limit, who arranged the whole thing? You and your pal Harbottle. Anyway, I've got to go through with it now. Can't stand things as they are.
Thank you.
Why, sir?
Oh, put them down somewhere.
Where, sir?
Anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Been sending your wife flowers. Trying the wife insurance trick, eh?
No, I have not.
Well, there's no car.
No, there never is.
What do you mean?
Flowers have been arriving every day lately with our cards.
I can guess who from.
Huh, clever, aren't you? Yes, flowers and books and boxes of sweets. You know, I can't be sure whether Marion's really interested in that fellow or not. I watch her and listen to everything she says, but it leaves me absolutely goofy.
Well, all I can say is that I'm surprised at Marion. I never would have believed she was that sort.
What do you mean, that sort?
Well, the sort of woman that would play about with other men.
Marion is not that sort.
Well, it would give me intense satisfaction to see you scotch the viper. Oh, may I?
Yes, go ahead. Hello? No, Mrs. Carter's not in. She's expected any minute. Who's speaking? All right, you are. Said it was Selfridge's. Wait a minute. Sounded very like Drummond to me.
You must think you're a fool to try that old trick. Great heavens. Every tradesman in town has been calling up Diana lately. And I put them through.
Good evening, Morgan. Hello, darling. I wasn't sure whether you'd be back before you went to the station. You'll want something to eat. And Morgan, too.
No, thanks. I have to run along and say goodbye to Diana.
Oh, I say, more flowers.
Yes. Where are they from?
I don't know. Isn't it exciting?
Yes, isn't it?
Well, goodbye, Marion. I've got a taxi waiting. I'll be back soon and pick you up, huh?
I'll go and pack.
Okay, something to eat for Mr. Carter.
Yes, ma'am.
And put these flowers in water and the lilies, too. I thought when I came in and found you here, you might have changed your mind about going tonight.
I'm sorry, but I must go. You don't mind, do you?
Oh, of course not, darling. What an absurd idea.
Hello? Oh, yes, just a moment. It's Selfridge's again, isn't it? Yes, I recognize the voice. For you.
Oh, hello, Leonard. Oh, yes, of course. Come as soon as you can. Goodbye.
Was that the latest?
Latest what?
Misunderstood what?
No, I understand her perfectly.
Jealous?
Jealous? Of a chap like Drummond? Darling.
You don't mind us dining alone, then?
Not at all. I'd like you to enjoy yourself. Besides, I trust you implicitly.
Aren't you taking any trousers, darling? Jeffrey, what would you do if I should ever have a weak moment and deceive you?
Well, if you deceived me, I wouldn't know, would I?
But if you found out afterwards,
I should leave you, of course.
wouldn't your love be big enough to forgive me?
I shouldn't think so.
Oh.
You see, you're not at all a helpless kitten type of woman. You know what you're doing, and you'd be prepared to take the consequences.
Yes, I suppose I would. But I don't think that would really stop me.
Aren't you going to dress?
Oh, I'm just going to slip into a negligee.
A negligee?
Oh, quite a proper sort of negligee, darling. A house gown, much more comfortable. There's only the two of us.
Oh!
Where is Mrs. Teddy? Is it better? Oh. How is she feeling? Oh, that's good. No, never mind. I'll go in myself. Thank you. Hello, darling. How are you feeling?
Oh, dear, my head. Oh, darling, don't. I haven't been able to touch a bite all day. I can't stand the sight of them. Take them away.
Darling, you must be ill. I think I'd better call our trip off.
Oh, no. Don't let anything interfere with your business. You must get packed, dear, now. Your train leaves in half an hour.
Oh, I hope I don't miss it.
I hope you don't, too. I'll come with you to be sure you don't.
But, lovey, you're ill.
Oh, yes. I'd forgotten. Somehow I'll manage. You go along. I'll be with you in a minute.
All right.
I say, is this all I can have to eat? Bread and butter?
So sorry, darling. They've been so busy in the kitchen today. Have all the things come for dinner? Yes, madam, I think so. Oh, well, here's the caviar I forgot to give you. Tell cook to put it on ice. And don't forget the mint apples I prepared this morning to go with the pheasant.
Yes, madam. And if you please, cook said, if you'll have your coffee in here, we can leave the cups over till the morning.
Oh, certainly. Oh, look at the time.
Kate. What did you mean by leave the coffee cups over?
Cook and I are both going out, sir. We're spending the night with her sister.
Did you and Cook ask for the night off?
Oh, no, sir. We wouldn't have thought of such a thing. And you're going away, too, sir.
I see.
One of us could still stay in, sir, if you're worried about Madam being alone.
Madam being alone wouldn't worry me, not in the least.
Just as you say, sir.
Mr. Drummond.
Hello, Drummond, old boy. Come right in. Make yourself at home.
Thank you, Geoffrey, I will.
Have a slice of bread and butter.
No, thank you, I never touch it.
Oh, you would if you lived here.
I'm sorry you're going just when I come.
Oh, business, old boy. Terribly important. I hope you don't mind.
Well, of course I do rather, but I'll make the best of it. Oh, by the way, I brought you these.
What are they?
Tablets. Very good if you're in for a rough passage.
Oh, thanks. Awfully nice of you to come and keep Marion company.
Very nice of you to let me.
Not at all. My cigars are in that box. You will help yourself, won't you?
Thanks very much. I'll help myself later.
my hand.
Ah, he's luckier still. How cozy and comfortable you look.
Do I? Well, sit down and be cozy and comfortable, too.
Can I have it on the radio?
Please do. Make yourself at home.
Ah, that's what Jeffrey said. Or was it me?
Okay. Get Mr. Carter's hat and coat, will you?
Oh, then we are to dine alone.
Of course. I don't want to hurry you, darling, but...
Oh, that's all right. Champagne cocktails.
Oh, I'm so sorry, darling. I didn't think you'd be here. But Kate can mix you one in a moment if you care to wait.
Oh, yes, do have one.
No thanks. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way.
What? Oh. Oh, yes, of course. Ah, nice heavy raincoat. That's good. It's coldish outside. And it's on me who has to turn out. What?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, no bother. Pleasure.
Oh, there's Morgan. Goodbye, darling. Be good.
Goodbye. Don't stay up too late. Oh, by the way, oh, all right.
I really think he's done it.
Of course. He has to. Why?
Oh, I don't know. I just wondered. If you were my wife, I wouldn't have to go to Paris.
He's gone on business.
Oh, what business?
I trust Jeffrey and Jeffrey trusts me. Your judgment's warped, I'm afraid. Your experience with women has been mainly with another sort.
Oh, are the two sorts, then?
Did you think we were all alike?
Well, some are sweeter than others. I bet you thought I was going to say there wasn't another woman in the world like you.
I hoped you wouldn't, but I confess I laid the trap for you. I wonder what you think about all this. Why do you suppose I asked you here tonight?
Supposing you tell me.
I'm a bit uncertain myself. Now.
I wish I could say the same. You seem to be so unconcerned in what's, after all, a fairly compromising situation.
Quite compromising. My husband knows all about it.
No, all about it hasn't happened yet.
You're very sure of yourself, aren't you?
One can't be too sure of anything. You know, I'm beginning to suspect this is a frame-up. It's too easy. When does your husband come back and find us clasped in each other's arms?
Well, he can't get back from Paris until tomorrow night.
Oh, very long clasp.
Don't you think you might have got me all wrong?
You're very calm and collected. It's not very flattering.
Perhaps I'm very nervous and I'm hiding it.
No, you're a very cool-headed young woman, and you brought me here to spoil my little plan.
What plan?
Put an end to this thing with Diana, didn't you?
You're clever.
Didn't you?
Well, yes, I did.
Why?
I'm fond of Diana.
Oh, it's a new reason for getting a man away from a girl.
Well, Morgan's getting on her nerves. She's just a little fed up with him for the moment. And I resent your too easy victories. It's high time some woman took up the fight against you seriously. Perhaps you'll admit now that I'm a little different from most women.
Perhaps in a few minor essentials. Incidentally, was that a challenge?
If you like, I'm not afraid.
Why aren't you?
Because all this isn't real. My husband is.
All this may be more real than you think. Now, I told you why you arranged this charming little tete-a-tete. Now, you tell me why I came.
I'm not sure.
Diana sent her husband to Paris. Now, why do you think I came here instead?
Why?
Because I'm curious about you. You're so confident, so sure.
And you're wasting your time.
I don't know about that yet. You know you're playing with fire.
Oh, I adore fireworks. Does that mean you might make love to me?
Yes.
Oh. Is dinner ready, Kate? Yes, ma'am. Shall we go into dinner?
Thank you.
Jeffrey always tells me a man must eat.
How right he is.
Well, I'm glad we're not crossing tonight.
Can we have something to eat?
The restaurant's closed, sir. You can have some sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Would you rather have bread and butter?
Bread and butter.
No, thanks. I'll...
Port to London is through, sir.
Come and help me, will you? Third floor. Excuse me, I'd like... I'm going to the third floor. Keep going to the third floor. Going up. Third floor. Oh, thank you. The page will show you the way. Thank you. You're very welcome. Hello? How's your head, my poppy?
Oh, it's terrible, darling. No, I wasn't asleep. What's that I hear? Music? Aren't you at the docks, dear?
Yes, darling, I am, of course. Make a noise like a ship. Oh, me? Come on. Oh, no, that's a cow. A ship. You see, we're ready to go on board. Yes. What are you doing, my angel?
Making a noise like a ship.
Oh, I'm just lying here, looking at the ceiling. Yes, of course I'm alone. All right, darling. Good night. Goodbye.
Everything is splendid. She doesn't suspect a thing. So that's her idea of a ship.
I thought it was pretty good. What did Diana say?
Oh, she sounded much better. Yes. Now that I come to think of it, lots better. Yes. Just lying there, looking at the ceiling. Just lying there. Don't you think we'd better get started?
Yes, it is about time. It's 9:30 now. We can be in London by midnight, can't we?
Should do, sir.
Good. Come on.
Just a minute. Let's hurry.
Will that be all, madam? Yes, I can take. We can go now. Good night, madam. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night. She's gone.
Frightened?
I'm not frightened if you're not.
Me? What of?
Oh, nothing.
Frightened of nothing.
You've made so many conquests, haven't you?
No. They were all surrenders.
Or whatever you call them. You've had them, haven't you?
Does it shock you?
Oh,
You hate me.
you know women too well to think that for a moment.
Well, you disapprove.
I'm rather sorry for you.
Sorry? Oh, that's new. I've been railed at, stormed at, thrown at, but never pitied at before. Why sorry?
Because I think you'd have been so much happier if you'd loved one woman instead of so many.
My love affairs never meant anything to me. The best of me is in my work. I suppose I value it more than the rest of the world does, or anyway, more than the reviewers do.
I didn't realize your work meant so much to you.
I wonder if there's such a thing as the one woman. How different life might have been.
I never took them seriously.
I guessed all that. I even told Diana.
She wouldn't believe you.
She said she didn't care. She knew you couldn't love anyone seriously.
And that's funny. I'm in love with someone now.
People who are really in love don't think it's funny.
My friends do.
I didn't laugh at Diana.
It's not Diana I'm in love with. Seriously, too.
I almost believed you for a moment. I'd forgotten you were a storyteller.
This is a serious story. I've decided to give up Diana because of you.
Bad as that?
That is that.
Be careful. I don't want to break your heart. I like you too much for that.
My heart's never been broken.
Perhaps if it were, you might write a really great book. One the reviewers will like, too.
Perhaps. You look very attractive in that light.
Is that a line from your last book?
No, I make better love in print. Authors usually do.
And that's all you can write about.
I'm not sure.
Haven't you ever tried?
I've often wondered if I could write a book that wasn't a love story.
You could, you know.
A really great book. I planned it. I won't talk to you about it. It'll bore you.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, it's about a man, an ordinary man, who all his life was up against tradition, prejudice, conventions. The book is a psychological study of this man's reaction.
No, it's hopeless. Are you sure there isn't a garage near here?
I've walked about 2 miles each way, sir.
For goodness sake, what made you choose this road?
The porter at the hotel advised it to. I wonder what Marion is doing now.
If you sympathize with me anymore, I shall be very rude. You worry about your own wife.
Well, Diane is in bed and fast asleep.
Then she's all right. If she's in bed, nothing can happen to her.
What? Of course not.
She seemed remarkably wide awake when she saw us off at the station.
Well, I implored her not to leave the bed. I can't think why she did it.
Can't you? To make sure we'd gone, you idiot. That's why.
You don't think
Yes,
so?
I do think so.
But why?
So that she can have a pleasant evening with Drummond after he leaves Marion.
If he's married. I think this going to Paris idea of yours was a mistake.
It wasn't my idea at all. It was yours.
No, it wasn't.
Well, whose was it?
It was Drummond. You don't suppose he has a bicycle?
That's the end of broadcasting for tonight, and all stations are closing down until tomorrow. Good night, you all. Good night.
And this is when I plan to get back.
Does it matter if Shakespeare was a tavern brawler or De Quincey a drug addict? No. That's why I put my own life in my books.
And I suppose one of these days I shall read of this evening in one of your books.
Perhaps.
I see. It's not very flattering for a woman to be used as an experimental guinea pig.
That's exactly what one of my heroines said and then went back to her husband.
And what did the husband do? Was he madly jealous?
No, a bit violent at first.
Oh, very violent?
No, he soon got over it and they lived happily ever after.
I believe that's how Geoffrey will behave towards me if ever I made a mistake.
I'm not so sure you'd ever want to.
Oh, you don't be too sure. You haven't even tried yet.
What do you mean?
Well, it's 12 o'clock and
I'm
you're
still talking about my novel. I know, but you're sort of wonderfully responsive listener.
the best listener you ever had.
I wonder what had happened if we'd met ages ago and there wasn't any Geoffrey.
And you're not worrying about Diana.
I'm glad.
Oh, hello. Yes, of course he died here. Oh, where is he? He promised to come and fetch me at 10 o'clock. He told me he had to leave early. Oh, about 2 hours ago.
Let me talk to him.
I told you gone.
I want to tell him.
No, I'll tell him myself. Oh, Diana, darling, Leonard told me before he left that it was all off. Yes, you see, we both decided it would be better for you this way. But don't you realize how foolish it would be? Morgan will be back any minute now.
No, no, no. I had it all planned. Oh, why don't you mind your own business?
You mean to say that Geoffrey won't be home all night?
This evening may end up in one of my books after all.
It's frightfully late. Hadn't you better be going?
Why are you so nervous?
I'm not nervous.
Yes, you are. You're as nervous as a guinea pig.
Perhaps. I don't intend to be experimented on.
No, of course not. Nothing was further from your thoughts. I was to be the guinea pig. I was to be used to make Geoffrey jealous. Am I right? And he's not coming home all night.
Isn't that a nuisance?
Yes, yes. One thing, in this experiment in your husband's feelings, why pick on me? Now, be honest. Why me?
Oh, because you came along and...
And I appealed to you more than the others.
I didn't say that.
You thought it. Why are you ringing that bell?
For Kate to get you a taxi.
Kate and the cook have gone out for the night. You were sent so.
Oh, yes. How stupid of me.
Yes, wasn't it? No. It was very wise.
But Geoffrey...
There's no Geoffrey now. It's you and me. Geoffrey?
No. He's got his keys. Where are you? I kept ringing the bell and I finally banged on the door until I thought I'd break my arm or something. I don't know why you didn't answer the door. So there you are.
Oh, Danny, you're all wet.
Oh, so that's why you didn't answer the doorbell. What have you been doing to him? I only let you have him for dinner, and he promised to come to me right away afterwards.
Listen, Diana.
Here I am, if you want me. He doesn't want to, do you, Leonard?
No.
Oh, Leonard, how can you be such a pig?
I'm sorry to be a pig, but it's all over.
Oh, and I have the most gorgeous things ever invented. Do you want to see them? Oh, Diana, behave. Go home at once. I won't go home. I'm fed up. It's all very well for you two to stand there and talk. You don't have to live with him. He's a glob.
A what?
A glob. He isn't a glob. He is.
What is a glob?
I don't know, but Diana says he's one. He's sure not to be. He has his good points. And how do you know about his good points? He's the only man in the world who put up with your extravagance and your temper. Well, if you want to know the truth, I can't go home. I've left my door key and a note saying I was leaving him. Oh, well, I suppose you'll have to stay here. Leonard, too? Not Julie, darling. It's a good spanking. Well, maybe Leonard will oblige.
Oh, my spanking days are over.
Oh, nobody will do anything for me. I'd spank you with pleasure, only I'm ringing for a taxi for Leonard. You do want a taxi, don't you?
What? Oh, yeah.
Hello? They're all out.
Oh, don't bother. I'll pick one up in the street as I go.
Be sure it's only a taxi.
Thank you very much. A very pleasant evening. Good night, Diana.
Thanks to you for a very unpleasant evening.
Oh, sorry Diana came in and spoiled our evening. Really should have left the talk on the telephone.
Don't worry, she's calm now. In the morning, she's got me along. When it's raining cats and dogs, I'll give you something Jeffrey.
Goodbye.
Oh, come on now. Stop howling. Well, if you hadn't interfered, everything would have been all right. Interfered? I like that. Who was it kept Jeffrey out all night? Well, I was expecting him to come home at 12. That isn't poking your nose into people's business. I'd like to know what is. Well, you went and ruined my elopement anyway. Yes, and thank your lucky stars, too. Well, I can't now. I guess I will someday, if that's any satisfaction to you. Marion, I know you meant well. But just look. Look at my lighting. Wasted. Don't you ever let Morgan see that. He never survived the shock. Don't be silly. He bought it for me. Morgan did? Uh-huh. You know, he has got his good points. But he's a glob. Yes, you go to sleep. What? The note. What note? The note I left on the dressing table for Morgan. Oh. Oh, now shut up, will you?
Must you snore? Come in.
Come on, sir. You can't park here. Better take the lady home.
There's no lady.
Sorry.
Who was that? Man on a bicycle. Good night.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Are they still in bed?
Yes, sir. Will you be having breakfast too?
No, no.
Oh, good morning, darling. We didn't expect you back so early.
So I gathered. I hope I'm not in the way.
No, of course not. But it must be rather beastly for you coming in like this.
Not at all. A little unusual and irregular, perhaps. Maybe you'd prefer me to go away again and come back when it's more convenient. Shall I ring the front doorbell to give you warning that I'm coming?
Oh, don't be silly, sweetheart. Why are you so bad-tempered? Oh, of course, you haven't had any breakfast.
No, but I see you both had yours, and a good one, too.
Yes, I always think a good breakfast bucks you up after a tiring night. I mean, you look as if you've had a tiring night.
You seem very bright and cheerful anyway.
You bright and cheerful.
Yes, you haven't been asleep in a car at the side of the road all night.
Why ever did you do that?
It broke down.
Couldn't Walker fix it?
No, Walker could not fix it, but it's my opinion someone fixed Walker, and I'm going to fix that someone now.
Oh, wait a minute. I hope you realize that anything that happened last night is your own fault.
My fault?
Yes, your fault. How dare you plot and scheme with Morgan behind my back? But how dare you try to trap me?
But it was Drummond who suggested it, and I know why.
Oh, and I suppose you didn't ask his advice?
No, I did not.
Well, you followed it. And the next time you want to know anything about me, don't try to catch me with trickery and low cunning. Come and ask me outright.
All right, I will. What happened here last night?
That I can never tell you. Anything else you'd like to know?
Yes. Where's that key?
Well, you can't get it.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Jeffrey! Oh!
Jeffrey, she's gone. Gone with Drummond.
Oh, no, she hasn't.
Yes, she has. Look, it says so in the note.
One electric reducing outfit,
No,
£45.
no, not there. Ah, here it is. Here.
Good morning.
How do you do?
Doesn't say a word about Drummond. Besides, Drummond's in there.
In there.
Yes, what do you think I'm shaking her for?
Are you giving her a divorce?
You can't. No grounds.
No grounds.
No, of course not. You arranged last night yourself.
Good Lord.
Somebody lost the key.
Don't you dare go in there.
Where are you going? Come in and see. Both the beds have been slept in.
That's all right, isn't it? Or isn't it?
The bathroom.
I forbid you to go in. He's not there.
Be a man. See for yourself.
What are you doing in that bath?
What What do you think I'm doing? Get out of here.
Not until we found Drummond. I shouldn't be surprised.
I'd make sure if I were you. No, wait a minute. I'll make sure.
Morgan! Morgan, leave that alone.
That's my plug.
Morgan, get out of here, both of you. Leonard isn't here.
Then what are his clothes doing inside?
Oh.
What about this note?
What note, darling?
This note, fed up with you, never want to see you again. That means Drummond. Where is he?
I don't know.
Well, give me that plug.
Oh, Morgan, Morgan.
No, yeah.
Morgan.
He's in this flat somewhere. Marion admitted it.
I did no such thing. Oh, get out of here, all of you.
You can't deceive me. Drummond's somewhere in this flat.
I swear he is.
I don't believe it.
Oh, darling, really he is.
Well, then stand up and swear.
Oh, Jeffrey, I give you my solemn word of honor that Lennon is not here. Oh. Mr. Drummond, madam. They don't hurt him. Oh, dear.
Good morning. Good morning.
Glorious day.
It's nothing of the kind.
Now, Mr. Drummond, perhaps you'll kindly explain.
Yes, explain.
I'll explain anything you wish, but as Mr. Carter's my host, may I ask a favor of explaining to him first?
Oh, very well. I'll wait in the dining room. I shall be glad to sit down. I feel a little faint.
Thank you, Morgan. It's in the sideboard.
Good.
Now, perhaps you'll tell me what happened here last night between you and my wife.
I'll tell you the real truth of the situation.
Hello. Who? Selfridges? Don't be ridiculous, he's here. Oh, Selfridges. Well, why didn't you say so? No, Mrs. Carter's engaged. Would you please ring later? Well,
You must swear you won't breathe to a soul. Never even keep your wife in. Marion first met me trying to save another woman.
Diana?
Shh. Morgan must never know.
No, I suppose better not. What was Marion doing in your studio?
Trying to break up my affair with Diana.
What?
I was going to elope with her last night. Marion prevented it.
Poor Morgan. What were your hat and coat doing in my hall?
It was raining when I left, and Marion lent me a raincoat.
I see. What about the undies?
Undies?
Yes, pink with black lace. More black lace than pink.
Oh, they're not your wife's.
How do you know?
Well, look at the name. Diana. They must be hers. She was staying here last night.
Why?
Well, under the circumstances, Marion and I thought it best for Morgan's sake.
I see. What are we going to say to Morgan if he asks questions?
Tell him the truth, only the other way round. Eh? Tell him it was Marion I was going to elope with and Diana who prevented it.
What?
I thought you wouldn't mind knowing the real truth.
Oh, no, of course not.
You know there was never anything between your wife and me.
My dear fellow, such an idea never entered my head. I wouldn't belittle my wife by harboring such a doubt.
She's a wonderful woman, Marion.
Would you kindly explain to me what happened here last night between you and my wife?
Well, Harbottle, Morgan, I'll tell you the real truth of the situation. You must promise you never breathe it to a soul. Better even keep your wife in ignorance. Your wife first met me trying to save another woman.
Marion?
Shh.
Marion, what'll we do? What are you going to tell Jeffrey? The truth. If he loves me, he'll understand. We'd better do the same with Morgan. I wouldn't dare. He might divorce me. That's what you want, isn't it? Well, I'm not so sure now. Of course, he's not the perfect lover, but then he does make love in a robust fashion. Darling, you kept this from me. Well, that's the reason I married him. All the other men I'd known made love through insinuation, adoring glances, and compliments. Morgan practically roped me and threw me. You did say roped. Uh-huh. It was a novelty of it. It sounds enchanting. I only said I was going to leave him. He can't divorce me for that, can he? Oh, no, dear, not for that. And besides, no one ever caught me with Leonard the way you were caught. Now, dear, don't get jealous. I wasn't jealous. Oh, yes, you were. When you came in here last night, you were all red. Yes, all over Leonard's mouth. May I use your powder, darling? Of course, dear.
Thanks for explaining everything, old boy.
There's only one thing I don't understand. How you got that card?
Oh, that. Yes, I can explain. Wait a minute. You've been able to explain everything with words. There's one thing you can't explain. I have written evidence against Diana. I've got the note.
What note? Oh, the note.
This one.
Well, the poor girl thought she was getting a little fat.
What?
And she thought you wouldn't mind paying for the reducing out.
No, the other side. Fed up with you. Never want to see you again, Diana.
No, but it's quite a different thing. Fed up with you. Never want to see you again, Diana.
What? What's that again?
Fed up with you. Never want to see you again, Diana.
Of course. Poor girl. She was always so bad at punctuation.
She's missed you a lot lately, and she told me she wants to see you again.
She has? Oh, that just shows how I've misjudged her. Well, thanks for everything, old boy.
She's a wonderful woman, Diana.
Diana. Drummond has explained everything to my entire satisfaction. And mine.
Oh, I'm glad. But a perfect you've left any misunderstanding behind me.
You're not leaving us.
I must. I must go to the country to gather material for my new book.
What, again?
No, Morgan. This time I shall be alone.
Too bad.
Oh, we'll miss you, old boy.
How kind. I shall often think of you both and laugh. Bitterly when I compare your happiness with my desolation.
Look here, Drummer, why don't you come and stay with us for a while?
Oh, with us?
No, many thanks. Enjoy yourselves with your wives and remember the good advice I gave. Don't forget, wife insurance.
You mean little attentions?
Yes. Flowers? Lighting cigarettes?
Compliments?
Exactly.
Hello, darling. Hello.
Darling, you're looking lovely this morning.
What do you think so, darling?
Well, my pocket, that's new, huh?
Yes, I just got it this year.
Aha, I noticed these things.
Oh, darling, what a lovely bouquet. How did you know they were my favorite flowers?
Instinct.
Cigarette?
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
Shall I light it for you?
Thank you, dear.
Do you mind if I turn on the radio, darling? Nothing like a little music in the morning.
Oh, Morgie, darling, now that we're all comfy, I want to explain to you about that note. You see,
There's nothing to explain, darling. Leonard explained everything.
How clever of Leonard. I knew he'd explain everything.
Hello, he's gone.
Leonard!
Drummond. Hey, old boy.